Morning, and happy birthday to me. This is my birthday, and in the last couple months I've had several people suggest or request that I do YouTube, and so I'm going to do that starting now. This will be my very first video. As you can tell, it's shot on a phone, not only a phone but the front-facing camera, which is lower resolution. Not only that, but I don't have studio lights. I don't even have a studio. I'm in the car. But that's where we begin. As a birthday present to me, let me ask you to like, or I don't even know. You know how you watch YouTube videos and they say you have to like and share, or share and subscribe, or something like that? I don't even know what comes from all that. It must be good, otherwise all the YouTube people wouldn't ask you to do it. So as a birthday present to me, go ahead and click on all the things you're supposed to click on right now, before I even finish the video. Go ahead. I'll give you 4 seconds. 3, 2, click them. 1, do it please. 0. Okay, video continues. So, I had a suggested topic of why do I take faith seriously? And it was really kind of a surprising topic to me, but I'll go ahead and address it because it's important. So, why would I take faith seriously? The way I look at it is, if God is real, if there's a real, true God in real life, if we were created by somebody and he rules the universe and is in charge of everything and created us, then that has to be the most important thing in the whole world, especially if we're accountable to him someday. All the major faith traditions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all have a judgment day. And if there is, in fact, a real, true, actual, real life, real God, then how could anything be more important? If we have eternity somewhere, then that's got to be the most important thing going on. And I'll put it to you like this. I go to college campuses sometimes, and I'll preach at college campuses. And at college campuses, you have people that are studying for something. Some are just studying because they're studying, no good reason. Some do have a very specific goal in mind and specific majors and those sorts of things. They know what they want to finish with, what degree they want to get, and what career pursuit they have in mind. So for those people who are working towards a goal, they might spend 4 years in preparation of that goal. We're going to say 4. Obviously, we know college can go quicker, or it can go a lot longer sometimes. But let's say it's 4 years. So for 4 years, they're studying, and many of the topics they're studying are on topic. They're exactly right in their scope of what they want to do. And then other things are general ed, and they have to get them done just to get the degree. And they've got all these textbooks. You know, one textbook is super expensive and super thick, and they've got all this stuff they have to read and learn and study and prepare to get that degree. And why are they doing all of that? Why do you invest hours and hours and hours and hours and years into getting that degree? Well, it's in preparation for a career, and you're hoping that the career makes plenty of money, that it's a good long career, that you're very successful in it, and in the hopes of all that success, you spend tons and tons of time, effort, energy, and money pursuing that degree. And many of these students don't even end up working in their field of study, which I find interesting. So think of that. Start with that college framework, right? If it's worth it to read not only a book this thick, but lots of them, many of them on subjects you don't even care about, for years in preparation for a career, then if there's an eternity, doesn't it deserve some attention? An eternity. Like, if this video lasted 36 hours and you watched the whole thing, that wouldn't even be anything in comparison to eternity. Eternity's a long time. Your career, maybe your career is going to be 30 years, and it was worth the 4 years of study, but eternity is a long freaking time. And speaking of career, let's say you're in a career and you're in it for 30 years. A lot of people hop around from one job to another, from one field of work to another. They change careers midstream. But let's say you've decided, this is my thing. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to practice medicine or something. And you practice medicine for 30 years, right? And all of that time, you're putting a little bit away into a 401k in anticipation of retirement, right? This is, again, another long period of preparation. You're setting aside money at the expense of things that you could do today. You're planning. You sit down with investors and come up with plans and determine your goals. There's a certain amount of planning and thinking it through required. And you're preparing over the course of years and years and years and years and years for this anticipated retirement. And it's probably wise to do. The people who plan for retirement end up a lot better off in old age than the people who don't. So, but some people don't even make it to retirement. I mean, tomorrow's not promised to you. You could go to sleep tonight and breathe out your last breath while you're dreaming and never wake up again. And that's real life. That does happen. So, as we think about it, we prepare for all these years in anticipation of retirement, and then, of course, we retire, and we've taken care of it. If your retirement is worth all of that preparation, all the investment of funds, all the investment of planning, of time, if your retirement is worth that because you're going to retire and live 10, 15, 20, 25 years off of your retirement, how much more is your eternity worth some planning? Seriously. Retirement might last 3 years, it might last 10 years, but eternity is a long freaking time. It's just the truth. I've had the honor of officiating a number of weddings. I won't do it anymore just because the social political climate in the world these days, and so I won't do a wedding for anybody. But 4, 5, or 6 times, I think about 6, I've officiated a wedding, and you know what I've noticed about weddings? They last about 45 minutes. That's it. I'll meet with the couple 2 or 3 times. We'll discuss what they want. I'll write and rewrite what I'm going to say. We'll do a rehearsal, and I'll walk it through with them. So there's a considerable amount of planning on my part, just as the officiant who's going to be there for 45 minutes. And then on their part, there's so much more planning, right? I mean, the people they plan a wedding for a year or for 2 years. Or how many people know somebody that's been engaged for 5 years or more, and they say, well, we're just saving up. We want a really great wedding, right? And so for all this time, they're saving and they're planning. They're picking out the colors of napkins and tablecloths and picking out $1,000 dress. And $1,000 would be getting away with cheap these days. And they're doing all these things for a 45-minute wedding. And you invest all these thousands of dollars and spend all these years planning for a 45-minute wedding. And how much time do you invest planning for your eternity? Now, if there is no God, if there is no eternity, if there is no judgment, if we don't have to answer to anybody, then honestly, it's a waste of time. My Christian faith is a waste of time. I'm praying to somebody who's not there. I'm reading a book for direction that is just a work of fiction. And I don't see that it has, people see social value or communal value or comfort you get from praying. I think it's silly if it's fake. If it's all complete fiction, it's not worth your time. So if you're a person who invests 0 time into communicating with God, reading His Word, connecting to Him, thinking about eternity, you're a smart person spending zero time on it if there really is no God. If you haven't thought it through, think it through. Something doesn't come from nothing. We didn't get here by accident, and we had to come from somewhere. If there is a God, then the most foolish thing you could do is spend zero time planning for your eternity when you know it's going to come. Retirement might never come. Your wedding day might never come. But the day that you die will come. The Bible says it's appointed to every man once to die, and then the judgment. And so I pray that if you haven't been thinking seriously about eternity, that you use this as a moment to think about it. I think it would be absolutely nuts, insane, bonkers, crazy for me to believe that there's a God and a judgment and an eternity and a heaven and a hell and not take it seriously. So answering the question, why do I take my faith seriously? Because I believe it's real. And you'd have to be absolutely bonkers and stupid to believe it's real and not take it seriously. I wish everybody who sees this well. Here's a game. Go back and rewatch the video. Count the times that I've said I say a lot when I talk. And post that in the comments. And if you get it right, who knows? Maybe there's a prize or something. But do click like or whatever you're supposed to click when it's an awesome YouTube channel. Subscribe, and that would bless me greatly. All right, bye.